Welcome, everyone. A show about, for, and with everything that's Indio, California. And now, without further ado, your host for In Indio, Rick Wise.
Thanks, Gary. I'm Rick Wise, and this is In Indio. It's been a while since our last show, and I thought it was time to bring it back. We're not going to have any guests for a while because of what's going on, so I'm going to try to make it entertaining for you. The guests and our neighbors are what made this show so exciting. We have retired TV, movie, Broadway. We have retired policemen and firemen. We have teachers, and we have the whole gamut living right here in our neighborhood. And bringing those people to you made this show what it really made it successful. So without those great people and those stories, you're kind of stuck just with me. So I'm going to try to find topics that might be of interest to everybody. They might make you laugh. They might make you really mad. That's okay. That's what we're here for. So one thing that's issue that's been going on in our neighborhood has been the hanging of political banners on houses. A lot of the neighbors didn't even know if that was okay with our HOA rules and regulations. They sent emails to Carl asking, is this okay? And Carl, after about 3 weeks, answered them the right way. Yes, political signs are protected by the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. So it's okay if they have them. My question to you is, okay, it's okay and it's legal, but how do you really feel about that? Do you like it? Do you like the political signs on houses? And if you don't, would it make a difference if the political sign was someone that you supported? Is that a difference? Send your thoughts on this subject to me at rick@inindio.com. I'll read them on the air. If you want your name associated with it, put your name somewhere in the body of the email or in the subject line. So, okay, one more thing about politics, and then I'll move on. If you plan on purchasing one of these banners or bumper stickers or mugs or whatever they got for sale, I'd recommend you purchase them from the actual candidate's website. There's a lot of companies out there on Facebook and other social media selling all this stuff. They're private companies. They're in it just for the big bucks. They honestly don't care who's going to win. They just want your money. So if you really feel strongly enough to purchase some of this stuff, I would go to the candidate's website and buy it from them. The candidates will actually get whatever money they get from you for more signs or whatever they're going to do with it. So you can go to joebiden.com or donaldjtrump.com. That's where you should buy your stuff. Do you like my hat? It's a sombrero. I got this from our neighbors, Steve and Lori. They got it for me for my birthday because they know that I like to walk around the neighborhood every day. And this keeps the sun off my face, but it's so big it actually keeps it off my shoulders too. So it's Sombrero. Isn't that great? The beverage that we're trying today is I-10 IPA, and it's made by the Coachella Valley Brewing Company. I guess they have a really nice brew pub. So I love IPAs, and I found the I-10 IPA when I was commuting back and forth to Seattle. I get to the airport about 2 hours before my flight, and I go to the bar, and they had I-10 IPA on tap. That's where I learned about it, but I could never find it here in the stores anywhere. But Ken Hewitt found it at that little liquor store on Avenue 44 and Gulf Center. You know, that weird little shopping center where it's, you have to go, the fronts are be in the back somewhere, yeah. That little liquor store had it. So thank you, Ken, for finding I-10 IPA. So that's what we're drinking today. Now, let's talk about our HOA Board of Directors election that's coming up. The pandemic actually caused this election to be stalled. or diverted. It was supposed to be, the election was supposed to take place several months ago, but pandemic stopped it, and then the company that was supposed to help us with it, they couldn't handle it, so now it's going to be later. I think we now have a date. But during the same time frame, California, with its millions of voters, actually pulled off not one, but 2 mail-in elections statewide. California has elected a new Republican member to the U.S. House of Representatives. And right here in our own district, we elected Melissa Melendez, a Republican, to represent us in the California State Senate. Now, these are huge jobs. U.S. Congress, I mean, that's trillions of dollars that they distribute, that they can go to war. Congress can impeach a president. Congress can do a lot of stuff, very powerful. And the state Senate here in California, California is the 4th or 5th largest economy in the entire world. So these were big, big elections that California pulled off during the same time. Now let's look at our HOA. We're not a huge HOA, but we're probably one of the middle ones. We got, what 300 to 400 homeowners, I believe, something like that. And there's a new date now. The new date is going to be October 14th. A couple things have happened during this time that we were supposed to have the election and when we're really going to have the election. For one thing, one of my dear friend, Dot, who was on the board running for re-election, has dropped out totally. So she's not even, I don't know if she's on the ballot or not, but she dropped out. And then we have, it's a rumor, I don't know if it's true. I hear there's somebody who's mounting a write-in campaign to be on the board. So on September 3rd or shortly after, we should start receiving our ballots. And I think they have to be in by October 14th. So with all the post office stuff going on, we probably should send, once you get them, you need to vote and send them in immediately. Now, the October 14th Board of Directors meeting is going to be a Zoom meeting. If you don't have Zoom already, I would suggest you learn how to download it and kind of play around with it, because it's not hard, but it has its little glitches. So if you want to comment on the Board of Directors or the election, HOA election coming up, send me an email at rick@inindio.com. We'll talk about the election. And again, if you want your email to be read live on air, I'll do that also. So remember, rick@inindio.com. Okay, one final thing. Some of you know that Wayne Lamson and I used to go to the city council meetings. And they're entertaining, well, not really, they're boring. A lot of the main meeting stuff is people reading resolutions, and it's all in legalese. And of course, Wayne being a retired judge, he does know what they're saying. My eyes just kind of glaze over, and it's kind of like reading the first chapters of the Bible when so-and-so begat, so-and-so begat, so-and-so begat, so-and-so. And all you know is there was a lot of begatting going on then. So, but the interesting thing of the city council is at the very last part of it, they allow any citizen to get up and speak before the council for 3 minutes. And it's amazing what some of these people will present before the board. God, we've had drug dealers talk. We've had people complaining about garbage. I mean, it runs the gamut. It's very interesting. So I can hardly wait for the city council meetings to start up again. But one thing that has happened that I'm kind of sad to report, the city council announced that train between Los Angeles and Indio, which was supposed to be for the Coachella festivals, and if successful, it was going to be a regular service thing. Well, Union Pacific Railroad really did not want to allow a passenger train on their tracks. So they gave a bid, and it was like $1 quadrillion or something. It was crazy. So that idea is just, I get I say it's dead, but let's hope future we can get that. Can you imagine getting on a train here in downtown Indio and going into the lounge car and reading or sleeping, or going into the bar car having a drink? 2 hours later, you wake up in downtown LA? Wouldn't that be great? No I-10? Wow. So that's a lot of stuff. Hopefully I didn't bore you too much. Remember, send your thoughts to rick@inindio.com. If you want to comment on the political signs, put signs in the subject line. You want to comment on the HOA Board of Directors, put HOA in the subject line. If you just want to talk, that's fine. Put anything you want there. So, I'm Rick Wise. Stay safe. Wear your mask. Until next time, in India.
This has been a WiseWords production. Yu Jung, producer, and I'm Gary Bushkin, your announcer.
Wise out.